Hello, everybody. Today I've got a special guest. I have Dan from Circuit here with us. I known Dan for, I don't know, more than 10 years, 15 years probably.
1998. This was even before you were a teacher.
Well, that's really old, man.
Yeah,
And then we met again last year at Synth Expo in Montreal.
that's right.
And that's where you talked to me about this
Yes.
screwed circuit. This is looking good better here. Screwed circuit. And honestly, I was so happy when I saw you with this, with these, I would say toys, because I know you see them as toys.
Right.
And in my mind, it was like, it fits you so well. It's just you. We had time to talk about it, and I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on the show and talk about what is Screwed Circuit, how you got into doing it, because I find it really interesting. And we have a special project that I'm waiting for you to finish for me. And we'll talk a little bit about that also, because I find it interesting, and I want people to know that you can do that type of work also. First of all, what is Screwed Circuit?
Screwed Circuits, we make handmade synthesizers and stomp boxes and circuit bent instruments from toys that you would find in a Toys R Us or a child's toy. We turn it into lo-fi sounding, some would say, instruments, noise toys, glitch boxes, and yeah, that's my passion. That's my drive. That's my calling. It's so weird, you know. Like, I've known for a couple of days now that we were gonna talk, and man, I was just like, I had to backtrack all the way to Music Technique and remembering, you know, we had an electronic class, and I did not care about that class at all. I was just hoping to pass, and that was it. Like, I didn't care for electronics. It's so weird. It's so weird because...
And when you say electronics, you really mean, you know, soldering and...
Yeah, just the electronic course, you know, like the solder. I think it was a meaty box we had to do back in the day, or...
I think it was a cable tester we did.
Right, that's it.
I still have mine somewhere.
Mine didn't work. So, yeah, but that's the way it went. So I go to Music Technique. I know I love writing songs. I love writing poetry. So in my mind, I'm going to Music Technique. I'm going to learn the ropes, get to know people, and hopefully launch a career of some sort. And everything will come to me. Everything will be easy, which is not the best attitude to have when you're going to school. It's good to have hope and dreams, but it's the effort you put behind it that counts. So, you know, I was seeing this more like a lottery ticket. You know, I'm going to go to Music Technique. I'm going to pass my classes. Then I'm going to have a career. Then I'm going to be...
Done deal.
Done deal.
Rich and all that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So...
It didn't work.
No.
The way you planned.
No, not at all. And, but my love for music never died. Like, I have, you know, I play classical piano. I play bass guitar. Even when I was going to Music Technique, I wasn't into recording. That's so crazy. You know, I got into recording after school. So the idea of having a recording studio came from that, which led me to 2009. At that time, Etsy had blown up. You know, like people, like we're going to eBay, and then Etsy came around, and then everybody was checking out Etsy. And I saw a guy, his name is Michael Rucci. He's still on Etsy. And he made these handmade synthesizers in wooden boxes. And I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know what that was. So then my ambition changed. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to build the weirdest recording studio in Montreal. That was my objective. I'm just going to buy all these weird sound devices. No regular type synthesizer, acoustic guitar, none of that. Just weird electronic devices. And people will be able to come, you know, record and leave with their tracks. I was like, that's going to be such a cool thing. So I started buying all this collection and we got to know each other. You know, like I would congratulate him on his newest thing. I even set like alarms where I would get notification as soon as he would post something. I'd be the first one buying it, and that's how it started. And then he suggested that I check out something called circuit bending. And he says, I think you'd really like it. You have the passion and the drive for it. And sure enough, he was right. You know, I had a day job. I was working for an insurance company at that time. So I had a day job, and I was like everyone else. I was watching TV, watching movies, and I realized that I was wasting a lot of time. So I canceled my cable. I canceled like anything that would make me escape and not concentrate on the electronics. And my routine would start at 4 in the morning, and I would go to bed at midnight every day because I wanted to learn, and I wanted to know how to make a sequencer, and I wanted to understand what was voltage control, and I wanted to understand how to have digital switching in a circuit, and I wanted to, so I just needed to like, and I would waste like at least 3-4 hours a day on TV. So times 5 or times 6, you know, you're up to 30 hours. That's like another shift. So I decided that I wanted to learn more than I wanted to do like everyone else. And, you know, I remember one project. That's my first YouTube video, actually, on my channel. That was my first big project. And I think I locked myself up in my apartment for like 3 weeks. I didn't come out for 3 weeks. It was summer. I took my summer vacation. And I lived like a shut-in for 3 weeks because I wanted to finish this keyboard. My girlfriend was worried. She didn't know what was going on. I wasn't answering the phone anymore. I was, you know. So let's say like that keyboard took me a month and a half, 2 months. I took 3 weeks to finish it. But, you know, my ambition was to have the experience that I would see other guys have on YouTube that I would follow. And I was like, I want to be like that guy. I want to know, you know, I want to know what he knows. I want to achieve what he's achieving. Yeah.
I tested this week, and yeah, I can understand that you sometimes push it to the limit. I mean, these photosensitive, I don't know what they do, and I think nobody knows what they do. Maybe you don't even know what they do. But when you play with them, it's so hard to know what you. But at the same time, that's part of the fun part.
Yeah.
Exploring
and making something different in a different way, in a different format. You know, a lot of cool synths are out there already with engineers backing them up and big companies pushing the product and everything like that. I find it's still cool to find people making handmade synthesizers. And it becomes a very unique piece, you know, and that's what we wanted to recreate, you know.
It's interesting because I mean, all of these, and this is a liquid drone. All of these are handmade, so in a way, they're all unique.
Yeah.
They're not exactly the same. They all, I mean, just the paint is one thing, but I mean, the circuit inside.
No, but now we had no choice. Now we had to produce a circuit board.
Okay.
But at first, when we started, we were making this all handmade. Cassia's part of Circuitz as well. She's partner in Circuitz now. And she's the one who, you see what happened with that was, this was a project, I wanted to build a sine wave synthesizer.
Okay.
That's how the liquid drone started. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna build, I love sine waves when they start droning and just that pure tone, and I wanted to build something, I had an idea. And I wanted the full range, like 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. And I wanted to make this amazing drum machine. It didn't happen. But I had boards, little boards made to translate a square wave to a sine wave. And being the extremist I was, I didn't make 10 boards. I made like 500 or 1,000, or I don't remember. So, and one day Cassia's checking the inventory of everything I have, and she finds these boards, and she's like, well, what's this? And that's how it started. That's how the liquid, I shared with her an idea I had, and she said, let me try it. I was like, all right, well, I'll try it. And I was working on something else, and sure enough, it sounded great. And I was like, I think we could do something really amazing with this. that's how it went. So I still have 1,500 of these boards now. So, because now we're making more of the liquid drone board as a whole. That's Cassia's art on the box, and each one is unique. She's an amazing artist. She's a photographer. She's a painter. It's just awesome to have her in the team, because my thing is sound and electronics. Like, I can make a cool box, no problem.
But it will be really industrial.
Yeah, dark.
But so right now, as official line of product, what do you have? You have this, the liquid drone. You have
Lo-fi sampler.
There's a V2. It looks
Very
like
cool.
a construction worker type of box.
Oh, that's the red edition. That's the red
edition. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a multimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have that. We have the eMental Mini as well, and now we're starting a new batch of. We have a synth. We had started a synth called the eMental Control, and now we're up to a new version. So we're going to be working on that. And so we're working a lot on, and we're also working on custom jobs as well.
Like mine.
Like yours.
We can talk about mine. I want to talk about it because I want people to know that you can do this, and this is really cool.
Yeah.
I had a French version of the Speak and Spell, which is called La Dictée Magique. It's actually my sister-in-law who called me at one point and says, I found this in a thrift store. Would you like it? It's like, of course, you know. And so now it's in your hand, and I'm waiting, and I don't want to know, because that was the deal. Just to explain to people how we sat down, we talked about it. I said I wanted this to be done, but as you explained to me, is that there's many ways to tweak something, to bend it. You asked me a question about what I wanted to do with it.
Right.
And then I let you do your thing. I didn't ask for, I said I want controls because I've got a CV gate controller here that I'm going to use for that, and that's why I'm keeping it. But that's about it. I don't exactly know how it's going to look. Actually, I don't have a clue how it's going to look. Right. I know it's not going to be the orange box itself because it's going to be exploded into something else. Right. And so I'm in my way, I think it's interesting because I'm going to have a unique piece of gear that nobody else has. That's right. The cool thing. That's the one thing I really find interesting about this. Outside of the fact that I like the sound of the Speak and Spell,
Right.
And the French version on top of that.
And you're going to have one crazy sequencer tied to it. Remember, we talked about that too. You're going to have one crazy unique sequencer on this one, my friend. And then you'll have the option to release it and feed a clock and CV. And so, yeah, I haven't forgotten. And I'm on it.
It's all good. There's no stress. Oh, man. You have a track of poetry with the drum, and it's from the
Red Edition Lo-Fi Sampler.
I'll put the link here. People, you have to go watch this. I love it.
Thanks.
I hear your style, and in my head is like Tom Waits meet Nine Inch Nails,
Cool.
Noisy and dark poetry,
Yeah. Yeah, we were supposed to, well, actually, it might be in the works, but Cassia saw all my poetry, and she's like, you have to do something with this.
Is she there? Is she there?
Yeah, she's right.
You have to introduce her also.
You want to do this? Okay.
Hi, Cassia.
Hi.
So you're the one doing these, all these textures and paintings. These are really cool. This is really cool.
Thank you. And the technique evolved over the past batches. We first started making it, Dan came up with an idea of like a sort of acrylic pour where you just put paint and you just kind of let it free fall and do its own thing. But I wanted a little bit more control over it. So I started adding more paints and pushing it around, and
it's really, I mean, you feel the texture, it's not like what you usually, when you touch any type of usual, synthesizer, you just feel like flat, like there's nothing. And
Right.
this, you hear all the texture and the bubbles. If I mean, some places you have bubbles, and it makes it again like a unique piece of equipment, or I would say equipment. It's a mix between art and an instrument. You know.
Right.
Yeah, we
And
really wanted it to look good, as good. It wanted it to sound as good as it looks.
Yeah. And that's
cool.
the key. That's the key of everything we try to make, is we always want to try to, there's no mismatch with what we make. We like to make it looks like it sounds like it looks. So if we can achieve that, then for us, that's success right there for us. To come back to what we were talking about also, where you were asking me like, what's my favorite thing to bend keyboards or whatever. So the one thing that's really cool to bend a toy, let's say, is that this toy was made for a kid. So it's like it has its innocence, right? It's an innocent kid for a toy for a kid.
I see you coming.
So now I'm playing with the circuit and I'm coming up with this tone that even I will get spooked out if it's late at night. And it's got this toy cover. So now it makes it really weird and spooky, like, you know, Chucky meets, you know. So that was really appealing to me, to make like these dark toys from, dark sounds from these toys. But it's limited. So unless you add to the circuit, then it becomes, it's pretty much always the same thing. But
there's something that I remember when we talked about what you do when you build these devices, that at one point somebody asked you, what is this knob for? And your reaction was, play with it.
Yeah. We were just talking about that today. Actually.
And I when I tested this thing, that's exactly what I remember. It was in my mind all the time. It's like, I don't know what these knobs are for. I don't know what these, you know, sensitive sensor are for. I'm just going to play with them. And it's part of the exploration fun. It's just like, you're going to discover. And I played with it. And then half an hour later, you thought, oh, you can do that also. You never, I mean, there's other things. And in this case, this one is light sensitive. So you move the light, you change it, and then it becomes another instrument.
Right.
And you have to record it because you're never going to get that back, you know.
It's hard. It's very hard to get that.
But it's like modular synthesis, you know. You have to record it because that was that, and it's gone.
Yeah, analog, right?
Yeah, analog. So, but
you'll never get the same thing twice, or it's very hard to achieve.
This is almost organic. By the fact that it reacts to light, it's not just analog. It's organic. It's totally different. So it's.
I'm really happy that you like it.
Well, I like it.
That was my first fear when I dropped it off. When I dropped it off and everything, I got back here and I said to Cassie, I said, "Geez, I hope he likes it." You know, like because you know that's the artist, the insecure artist in me. You know, it's like
the one thing I would like to have on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
This knob would be a gate in.
Oh.
Yeah, so then I could send it to my kick drum, and it would actually gate the drone, and it would open up only when I want to. So it would become a rhythm instrument. That's it.
That's easy.
Yeah, we could do that.
Well, because we know that this instrument's going to evolve at least twice. So yeah, and I love making stomp boxes, effects. It's the next best thing, you know, because you could take any sound and then transform it. Like,
so you can also bend a pedal.
Yeah.
So
unlimited.
Yeah, you can merge both things. You can make a pedal and then add a bent circuit to it, and
so now my list of things to bandage is growing.
Yeah. But yeah, so well, I think I remember you commenting on it was a circuit bent voice changer.
Yeah,
and that
was cool. That was a cool one.
I put a bit crushing on it and everything. And so I'm actually supposed to be working. We didn't hear from him yet. I'll reach out to him tomorrow, but we have an artist that after that video, he wanted to make, he wants us to work on it. He has an idea for, I won't give the details, but he's got an idea, a really cool thing. And it's because of that clip. So that's another thing, you know, like you make a clip of your last creation for someone who was interested in something like that, and then it fuels inspiration to other artists, and then they reach out and go, oh, you know what, I really like that, but could you work something like this and this and that?
Yeah,
sure,
because
no problem.
everything is a unique piece, so you
Right.
can make it to suit somebody else's style. So people can buy your stuff. There, it's sold at Moog Audio. You
Yeah,
can
we
also
got it.
buy it from your website also.
Yeah.
And if they want special commission piece, or they can reach out on your website. They
Yeah.
can reach you out on
Instagram.
Instagram. That's mostly where you are. Instagram
Yeah.
and
Instagram's a great way to get in touch with us because we're there. We're always there.
Yeah.
On Instagram and the website.
the
And
website.
yeah, and what's cool is that we have a brand new website.
Guys, it's been a great time with you. I like what you do. I like this the fact that these are, you know, bizarre pieces of a mix of art and, you know, musical instrument at the same time. There's a lot of experimentation in it, and I really like that part. You know, I grew up with electronic, noisy music. I grew up listening to Neubauten and Skinny Puppy, and then I mean, noise was part of the result. It was part of the experience. It was part of it. So for me, having this, you'll have to watch the video, and this I had a lot of fun with it. Honestly, I want you two to talk about next time you release something or there's a new version. I want you to come back and say, hey, we have something new, and you
Okay.
demo it and you talk about it because I think it's really cool. When I looked at the demo you do about all these different, you know, tools you have, especially the red one, the red edition. You did a lot of these, and they're just, I mean, when you look at it, you go, okay, now I get it. I know how I can, and it triggers ideas and inspiration. So you're good at it because you know, what I like is that when you do it, you know why you did it. So you've got an idea of how to use it. And others will say, oh, that's cool, but then I imagine how I can do this in my situation. And then when it becomes something else. But the fact that you're doing the demo, I think it gives a depth to how, I mean, especially example, the one with the poem that you did.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that one, it's not just like, okay, this records and playback. No, it's
Right.
just the result that you see.
And
You don't even talk about the use. You just see this is what the result is, and you go, okay, I can do this. Okay, I understand. I see why he's into that because the
and
texture.
that's what we wanted to do. Like that's the reason why I made that song. You're right. It does give an example of here. This is what you can do. It's just like the liquid drone. You know, the liquid drone. Yeah, you're right. It is an instrument to be sampled. Sample it and then lay it on a keyboard and play it. Like, go for it. Like, create a tone that's awesome, or be abstract and make something. It's up to you. Once it's in your hands, then it's up to you. And then you do your thing. So